Conservatives last week had the opportunity to vote non-confidence in this government because we don't have confidence in this government. And we had the opportunity to do that dozens and dozens of times. And just like we'll vote against a Liberal budget that promotes higher taxes, it promotes less competition, it's doubling the shelter costs for Canadians and longer lines at our food banks. We're going to vote for policies that take off the carbon tax so Canadians can afford to feed themselves and to heat their homes. And that's unfortunately not what the NDP or their Liberal coalition partners are interested in doing.
Questions and comments? The honourable member for Sherwood Park, Saskatchewan.
Well, thank you very much, Madam Speaker. And I think my colleague made many important points about the immense corruption that we're seeing from the coalition right now. And I want to ask him specifically about the Arrive scam scandal, because I know he's done a great deal of work on this. We've seen how rotten the procurement system has become under this government, that these tiny companies that ostensibly don't really do much of anything can receive contracts and pass those contracts on. They're sitting on this unexplained gold mine where the government pays them and they pay somebody else less and they collect a fee along the way. Millions of dollars for at best being LinkedIn recruiters. And this government has refused to come clean about who is responsible for the decisions to actually hire these companies. We asked repeatedly, and I put in an order paper question, in fact, to try to get the answer. Who is responsible for hiring GC Strategies for Arrive Camp? So I don't know if the member can share what he thinks is behind this deep rot at the heart of our procurement system that is leading to the waste of millions and millions of dollars.
The honourable member for Leeds, Grenville, Thousand Islands, Rideau Lakes.
Thanks very much, Madam Chair, and I appreciate the question from my honourable colleague from Sherwood Park, Saskatchewan. The $54 million Arrive scam is another example of this out-of-touch government being more concerned about lining the pockets of their well-connected insider friends than actually delivering results for Canadians or delivering services at a price that ought to be paid. This is an example where $11 million flowed through a two-man shop that, as the honourable member said, was basically glorified. They were glorified LinkedIn recruiters. And when pressed on this, we have a government that's charging $54 million to the taxpayers, and they aren't able to tell us who selected any of the vendors. You bring the minister, the deputy minister, the ADM, you bring their officials. No one made the choice, they would tell you, to select these recruiters and these ghost contractors. It's important to note that some of these same contractors who worked on the $54 million Arrive scam are under RCMP investigation. This is a government that has more investigations that they're facing than any government in history, and they seem to have the limitless support of the NDP. Have the RCMP, the Ethics Commissioner, and the Auditor General have all orders of this government under a magnifying glass.
Questions and comments. The honourable for Aurora, Oak Ridges, Richmond Hill.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I'm glad that the member opposite mentioned being out of touch, because in his rather freewheeling remarks on the motion before us, he referred to me as not being able to represent my constituency because of my personal situation. And I was just wondering if he might explain to me how the 83% of members opposite are able to represent the over 50% of people in their ridings who are women when they're all men.
How dare you make that assumption?
So I just want to say, that question isn't really related to the motion that's before the House. I know that there were comments made. Exactly. So I know that it was part of his speech. I'm just saying that it's not part of the motion itself, but I will allow the order. I will allow the honourable member to respond. But I do want to remind members that they shouldn't be doing personal attacks on each other within their speeches or within their questions. The honourable member for Leeds, Grenville, Thousand Islands, would you like to respond?
Madam Speaker, the member opposite and her colleagues are part of a government that has a cabinet that is filled with serial lawbreakers. And it's unbelievable that they're able to stand and face Canadians when face Canadians when this is the record that they have. When you have multiple members of the cabinet who have been caught breaking the law. If you'd like me to detail, okay.
Point of order, the Honourable Government House Leader.
Standing Order 18, I don't think the member opposite should be making false accusations like that. That is completely inappropriate. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
I think that, we need to be very careful and respectful towards each other in the House. I will be pulling out the standing order because I remember, I don't know them all by heart, but I will come back to you in a second because I do know reading that, we're not supposed to be attacking each other. Let me just double check on here. I just happen to have some great support. Yeah, so Standing Order 20, if anything shall come in question touching the conduct, election, or right of any member to hold a seat, that member may make a statement and shall withdraw during the time of the, is that the one that you?
Reference to 18.
Oh, 18, sorry. Okay, this is the one. No member shall speak disrespectfully of the sovereign, nor any of the royal family, nor of the Governor-General or the person administering the Government of Canada, nor use offensive words against each other's house or against any member thereof. No member may reflect upon any vote. We keep going back to that, but I do want to remind members that, again, to be calling members, saying that members are I think it was, yes, serial criminals. I would just ask members to please stay away from that. Again, I would just ask the honourable member to withdraw that comment first. Okay. On the point of order, the honourable member for Leeds, Grenville, Thousand Islands.
On the point of order, Madam Chair, with respect, first of all, it was the member from Kingston and the Islands who said serial criminals. What I said was law breakers. The question, Madam Chair, the Prime Minister was twice broke ethics laws. The small business minister broke ethics laws.
We're going into points of debate. I would just, hold on here. I want to ask the honourable to please withdraw. It is causing disorder. Just withdraw the comment that was made about serial. Again, hold on here. So the other thing is that when something is causing disorder in the House, and I'm asking the member to withdraw that comment, it has caused disorder in the House, and so that we can move on with the debate. That would allow the debate to continue. Yes. Thank you. The honourable member for Sherwood Park for Saskatchewan on the point of order.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think we need to be very careful about situations in which if one member says something that is obviously verifiably true, and then other
order. Now this is becoming a point. This is a point of debate again. No, it's a point of debate. The honourable member for Sherwood Park for Saskatchewan, please be careful and judicious on the words on what you're saying.
Thank you, I won't speak to the substance of the issue. But if you have a case where one member says something that in their sincere view is true and that they have good evidence to believe is true, that other people don't like, and therefore they have a reaction, I think it's fair to ask who's responsible for that.
Is it a point?
The person who raises the issue or the people who are?
It's more of it's more interpretation. The honourable minister has also a point of order. Okay, excuse.
Congratulations on your grandchild. I would like the member opposite to withdraw the comment where he said all cabinet. Thank you. Continue?
Yeah. So I would just ask the honourable member to please withdraw and he'd be able to.
Madam Chair, I will withdraw and restate. What I'll say.
So if the honourable member doesn't wish to withdraw, he just won't be. I'm going to move over to the next speaker. The honourable member for Leeds, Grenville, Thousand Islands, Rideau Lakes. Okay.
So, Madam Speaker, in this House, we have members of cabinet who have been found to have broken Canada's ethics laws, and Madam Chair, while I'm being interrupted.
Sorry. Now this is becoming a point this. Oh, sorry. This is now becoming a point of debate. I already have an honourable member who is speaking on a point of order. He has indicated that he has withdrawn his comment, and I will now allow him to finish his speech. I'm trying to figure out now. I'm just going to get some clarification as to where we were in whether it was. I believe the honourable member is finishing his response. So he has 24 seconds before I go to the next question. The honourable member for Leeds, Grenville, Thousand Islands.
Madam Chair, the Prime Minister broke ethics laws twice. The Small Business Minister broke ethics laws. The former Housing Minister broke ethics laws. The member for Hull-Aylmer broke ethics laws. Madam Chair.
Point of order. The honourable member for Aurora, Oak Ridges, Richmond Hill.
Just relevance. I was told my comment wasn't relevant. I don't know what the relevance of this is to the question I asked.
So again, the honourable member for Leeds, Grenville, Thousand Islands. The honourable member may not like the response, and the call for relevance now becomes more a point of debate. So if the honourable member has another question after that, she can bring it up. The honourable member for Leeds, Grenville, Thousand Islands, Rideau Lakes.
Madam Speaker, what we have here in this House is they're looking to again defend the indefensible, and it's a group of people who they're going to have to defend that record, and you can take the word record two ways. They're going to have to defend that record, but we're able to represent our constituents, our communities, and we're going to stand up for lower prices for families, even if they won't.
Comments, questions.